All right. What is up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's Marshall Lee of DonkeyJobProjects.com. And I got my Apple Pencil. Got my iPad here somewhere. And I got shaky camera. And I'm going to sketch a little bit and just chat about what's going on, what's going on with the channel, what's going on with the art, what's going on with the comics. What's up? Ilya or Leah? I think it's Ilya. That's what I want to say. Let me know what it is. Sakura-san, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Great to see me. Thank you. Great to see you in the chat as well. Ilya, you said yes. I said which one, and you said yes. Classic. You love my videos, Sakura-san. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys hanging out for sure. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna draw. I don't know what you guys are up to. Are you doing some art and stuff? I find sometimes these live streams and stuff are great to just hang out and draw. And if you hear any snoring, it's not because I am tired, but my dog's even tireder. Likes to hang out. So, let's see. First time someone noticed me in a live chat. Oh, well, hey, there's a first time for everything. You like my comic challenges. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I hope to do more, at some point. Um, you know, it's something I want to get into. So, yeah. So I think I'm gonna do a little drawing and chatting. People who have been on my channel for a long time, um, they've seen my journey and everything, and there's been a lot of bumps in the roads, a lot of different things happening. But it's been an experience. It's been interesting for sure, and you know, I plan on continuing that journey. So uh, I should make a comic of Harry Potter. Oh man, that would be fun. But I love Harry Potter. Harry Potter is one of my favorite movies for sure. The series, especially the first like four movies, and then I read the books as well, and I like those too. The end of Harry Potter was a little bit tough, but like it didn't really it wasn't as good in my opinion, but still was interesting. I feel like maybe the storytelling was, I don't know, there was some things that something didn't feel right, but it was still good. But yeah, I love the character. Um when I got into comics, I was always interested in creator owned stuff. So, I probably wouldn't like, I even though I love like Spider-Man, I don't know if I'd want to do that, as a job for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm just wired to kind of create my own characters, Nothing wrong with doing those kind of things for sure, but just never was my interest so much. Um, Marsh, I have oh, I should post it. Marsh, I have a question about your character Glyph. Yeah, go ahead, shoot. Um, Sakura-san, what is your favorite comic that you drew? Well, I don't know. It's funny because I was just looking through my comics that I've drawn so far the other day, and um, let's see, what was my favorite comic that I drew? It's hard to say. I really loved drawing Attack of the Lizard Brain, especially um the cover. The cover was really cool and fun to draw because it was a throwback to the old EC comics. But I liked creating the monsters and stuff for that, and that was fun. And yeah, I don't know. I think the story came through pretty good. It's kind of a silly story. It's not like it's kind of like a little like morality tale, I guess. So it's not super in depth. I liked drawing. Let's see. What's that one? Oh, Darby Cufflink, um, the Gentleman Avenger of Comics. That one was fun too. Again, the cover was fun. Again, it was like a throwback to old Marvel Comics Presents issue where Sam Keith, the creator of Max, was drawing Wolverine, and I like doing the cover, but I also just I thought it was a fun story. So yeah, I don't know. I like them all similarly. I guess, another one that I think of a lot, relatively a lot, is Expando. That one was cool too. That one's in one of the 9 volt anthologies. Not I don't I think it might have been in the first 9 volt anthology with the AAA community. Let's see. I agree with the end duel with Harry and Voldemort. Yeah. It was weird. The thing that got me was like the Horcruxes. Like I thought the Horcruxes were a cool idea. And then but then there was like it was either you had to choose the path of either going the Horcrux route or getting the items or whatever. Um and it was just kind of convoluted. It was interesting, you know, but it was just it's almost like she threw like a little bit too much, into the end. It's like she wanted to do way too much, and she had to resolve the stuff with Snape and Dumbledore and all that stuff. Like it was just kind of too much, I feel like. So I don't know. That's what it felt like, but it's hard. Like endings of any story is never all like I don't most stories I don't love the endings. Um I love the middle. The middle's the cool part usually. And the beginning too. But the ends, a lot of times they're it's not very satisfactory. Let's see. Glad to see me streaming again. Well, I mean, hey, Glad Man Comics, like you must I'm sure you're glad about a lot of things. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be streaming again too. It feels like I'm back with my family. Uh Ilya asked about Glyph before. What color is the hoodie he wears? Um well, I guess it's white since it's in black and white. Um, it probably is orange. My favorite color is orange. So I have colored glyph different times. I've done little drawings of glyph and actually colored it. I wonder if I have any in here. I got this one. This is an old drawing, but this is kind of. It wasn't really necessarily meant to be glyph per se, but this is in Procreate. But this is an old drawing. And it's just a brown hoodie in this one, brown slash orange. So, yeah. Um, so I guessed right, I guess, about my own character. But it could be anything, really. Depends on what day, what color he decides to put on. Let's see. What else is there? Who is your favorite character you drew and why? Hmm. I don't know. I mean, I've drawn Glyph so many times. Let's see. I don't. Gogan was kind of cool and hit the Hitchhiker. story I did. He was fun to draw. Um, and so was the main character guy, which, to be honest, I don't remember his name. um, I like drawing like non-human characters because if you draw non-human characters, then you don't have to get the anatomy right. uh, that's kind of crazy. That was a loud sound. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I like drawing non-human character. I mean, Tusk is pretty cool. He's fun to draw. Um, the main bad guy to Glyph. It's cool that you guys are asking questions about my comics. It's a very rare thing that people ask me about that stuff. Um, let's see. Your videos inspire me to draw my own comics. I drew a few of my own. That is so awesome. Like, I seriously, Sakura-san, like, that's so awesome. I That's like my favorite thing, like, of doing this channel. People tell me they've drawn comics, or that I inspired them, or got them excited to draw comics again, or whatever. Like, I love that when I hear that every time. It never ceases to be something that puts a smile on my face. What tablet do I use for my artwork? Asks Starlight Charisse. Um, I use iPad Pro. Um, yeah, I have another tablet. I think it's a Huion. But I haven't used that. Man, I haven't used that in like 5 years or something. And it is a screen tablet. I did have a Wacom a million years ago, but the wire, it had a wire that went to the computer, and it would like short out all the time. And I never got used to it. I could never get that disconnected. It just didn't, and I didn't try hard enough either. But it was a small one, and somebody gave it to me, I think, and that's why I even had it. Um, let's see. What do I plan to make for my next comic? Well, you know what? I'm gonna definitely get into that. Uh, I suppose now that I have some people here, I should actually start the show. Let's just go through the rest of the chat real quick, and then we'll talk about some things here, and that'll be part of it. Peter Retro Palmiati Orange, you glad to meet me? Yes. I think I've met you before. Do I know you from somewhere? Peter, how you doing, man? Uh, I'm glad to see Retro in the middle of that. That's pretty dope. I can't wait till Retro is finally 100% done. That'll be dope. Let's see. Have you ever made merchandise with your comic characters aside from the comics? Yeah, I made like stickers and not a lot of stuff though. Um Probably mostly stickers. What else did I do? Did I do any? I did a pin one time of Corn Cob Rob. That's about it. But I would like to. I would definitely like to do more merch stuff. Let's see. Oh, we got Cirque Works. What's up, Scott? How you doing? The correct answer to what's your favorite thing to draw are the aliens from Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday. Absolutely. If you guys don't know, Mr. Scott here and I created a challenge called Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday. And yesterday was Tuesday, so you're gonna have to wait until a week to draw an alien. You can't draw aliens any other day than Tuesdays. That's the law, and the comic book police will come and get you if you do something different. Uh, but yeah, totally, man. Like those actually are some of my favorite characters to draw for sure. I love creating crazy characters, and yeah, many of my favorite characters to draw may have not even been in a comic. um, what is my favorite tablet to use for art? I mean, I love the iPad. I think it's great. I don't really have any desire to do anything else, you know. It's either traditional or iPad for me, you know. So, um yeah, of course, I'll answer your question. Anytime I'm live, well, that's not true. Because I do live shows and I do interviews with people, and sometimes I just can't, you know, talk to the chat as much. This is gonna be one where I can talk to the chat a little more. Um, do I have any merchandise on hand? No, not really. I'm like literally like my studio has been focused on this stuff right here, this crazy synthesizer music stuff for a while. And I'm just now getting my comic stuff back out because I'm getting back into the comic thing, man. Can't wait. I'm so excited. Like we're gonna rock and roll with this channel once again. Um let's see. What merchandise would I like to make and have of my art? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like to drink coffee. So I mean I have this right here that's got some whiskey. No. It's actually got some milk in it. I don't want to spill it on my computer, but this thing is the coolest mug ever. My mom got this set for us for Christmas, and I think you can see the details. It's real China, but it's from Poland, from a designer in Poland, and it's called Calamity Wear. And I think there was like a Kickstarter, and it's you could see it's got all kinds of crazy monsters and robots and aliens and other awesome things like you would see on Cirqueworks channel. You know, I love it. It's so fun. And I drink out of that all the time. So I'd love to make something like that. I love a mug would be great. Oh man, there's so many questions. We got sideburns here. I really appreciate the questions. You know what? I'll do some more questions at the end. I can't get to all of them right now because I do want to like talk about a couple things. Um, but yeah, what's up, sideburns? Coffee cups are great. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, bitey thing. Good to see you here too. Good to hear you're making your way back to comics. I'm making my way back to you, babe. Oh my gosh. I think only Scott would probably recognize that song here. Everybody else is probably too young. Maybe sideburns. I don't know. I think you're pretty young too, probably though, or compared to me. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Oh boy. Anyways, so I don't know if I'll draw or not, but especially since what I'm trying to draw is cars. Ugh, who wants to draw cars? Not me. All right, so let's get into it. So what's my next steps? What am I gonna do here now? So I guess let's talk a little bit about the history. I don't want to go too deep. I mean, if you followed my channel, you know a lot about my history because you know I can't seem to be very private. I just blab about whatever the heck's going on in my life, sorta, kinda. But um, you know, I started this channel like a long time ago, like almost back when YouTube started. At first, the first video I ever put up was a video of me rapping on stage. Um, Doing a cover song of kind of my own cover version of a KRS-One rap song. Um, and that was fun and embarrassing now that I look back at it. I don't know if it's still up. I don't remember, but you guys can tell me. um, and you know, um, and I made this channel, you know, this was before YouTube was really YouTube. It was just like, oh, there's a video site. There's a lot of videos. And it took me a while to even realize that you could put your own videos up on it. And, you know, back then we didn't even, I don't think even smartphones were a thing back then, or they were just starting. We had some iPods, you know, we're sort of getting there. And then, you know, so I had to like buy a snapshot camera, whatever those cameras are, and then I had to like find a way to get that video that I made on that onto the computer. Like I didn't know how that works. I still don't know how that works. That's why I use my iPhone to make I either use my iPhone or a webcam to make all my videos so far. Because it's easy. So um that being said, I started out, there trying to put and the whole point was to like get my music going. And I did a Kickstarter also, which I literally did a Kickstarter like the first, I think, year Kickstarter was even existed. So and it was for my music. It was successful. I only did it for like $500. I got to like $600 right at the end there. And it funded my CD, that I wanted to put out. And I mean, it sounds so ancient, right? Like half of this technology isn't even used, except for nostalgia purposes. um, you know, but that I mean, back the internet, I mean, this is just on the heels of like MySpace probably and stuff like that. Like even back in the old days of like the internet, a lot of the technologies we use today didn't even exist yet. Um, so anyways, the point is I started the YouTube channel as a music YouTube channel. And funny enough, you know, I I've kind of deviated from comics into music in the last couple years. But so the thing is I developed this channel went through many different phases. I was doing like graffiti stickers at one point. I was doing different like art things. What else was I? Oh, I was doing like designer toys and stuff. And you know, and I was doing comics kind of, and then I would switch from comics to other things, like the topics kept changing. And eventually I finally went back and honed in on comics, and I was like, okay, 100 days of making comics, I think, you know, I flopped during the first ever round of 100 days of making comics back when Kevin was still doing it right from the beginning. I kind of flopped, got distracted, did some other things, and then I came back and did finally came back to the 100 days of making comics and did videos again. And ever since then I've been doing, comic videos, you know. So, that was like, I don't know, 5 or 8. I don't know how many years did I do comic videos? I don't even know. Maybe it was not that many. But I just really focused on comics. And then life events happened. I've talked about them in past videos, even the last video I did with Corey Kerr. I mentioned stuff a little bit, but crazy life events happened a couple years ago, and for everybody really, but for me especially with my personal situations, and um, you know, I couldn't focus on the channel anymore like I wanted to. Not I had gotten a divorce, and I was going through that process, and just I just couldn't like intentionally focus on comics. And I started jumping into music. That's an itch I've been wanting to scratch for a long time. I miss working on music, and was just barely ever touching it, the music stuff, for a while. And the thing with music too was there was no attachment to a business plan necessarily. It was just exploration, experimentation, just having fun, while I was going through stuff and trying to sort out my mind and my heart and everything. And you know, and so music was a great therapy for me, a great place to just relax and not have the pressures that I was putting on myself with comics. And it's not like I stopped liking comics ever. I just I couldn't focus on it anymore, it was just too much in the comic channel and all that and the business pursuits. So, I just kind of I veered away from it. I kept trying to come back, multiple times coming back to comics, coming back to the comic channel for the last 2 years, and it just never stuck. Um, and I don't know. I just felt like I was almost like in denial. Like, man, I want to do comics, but I can't make myself even do it right now. So that's been where I've been at for the last couple years. But within the last couple weeks and maybe month or so, I've been exploring other options of possibly getting into coding and other things of like a new career pursuit. And I finally started feeling okay with like pursuing goals again, like and even though I was still trying to, it just wasn't sticking before. And it wasn't until the last week or so where I'm like, you know starting to just think about comics again, and like, this is it's I've seen like on my YouTube, I finally got the monetization working, which I couldn't get working for years. And it was I had the ability to monetize, but there was this weird situation with my addresses because I changed addresses so many times. Um and so for some reason I could no matter what I did, I couldn't communicate with YouTube in a way that where they would send me a check. And then, for somebody helped me with that recently, like within the last year. And, I was able to get the money finally. And then I started getting checks every couple months or 3 months or whatever. And it's not like a lot, but like this year, I haven't done anything with my YouTube channel and I got a couple checks, which was cool. Like it's just encouraging. It's like, and then I would look at, my videos and my comments and I'm like, wow, like people are still commenting on my videos, like even though like I haven't really been around, and people are saying, oh, this helped me so much. Like I was saying earlier, this helped me to make my first comic. Or I've been away, I always wanted to try a comic and now I'm going to actually try. Or I made my first comic. These type of comments, and even stuff you guys are saying in the chat, and it's like, you know it's just so encouraging. And so as I was looking at that kind of stuff, I'm like, I worked so hard to get to where I got to, with YouTube and with comics. And I've made a lot of comics, like mini comics and anthology stuff, not like full comics yet. But I made a lot of little stories and stuff like that. And it's like I did all this work and the ball is actually still rolling with it. And I left it, and but I had to, for my mental health, and so but seeing some of that stuff still kind of going really encouraged me. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just do another comic video. I have this thing I've been thinking about a lot lately. And so I asked Corey to come on, Corey Kerr. He was on the last video last week. And I just really enjoyed hanging out with Corey and talking and chat, seeing the chat come in. And I was just like, this is like my home. This is my people, this is what I love doing. And that just kind of got me thinking. And for the last week or so, I've just been like really like, I think I'm ready finally to get back into this. Um I feel like I've scratched the music itch enough. And that stuff, it's hard to know which direction. That stuff right there. That music stuff, I can go to at any point and just start noodling and making cool sounds and beats and stuff. I've gotten to the point where like I know what I'm doing with that stuff, and I know how to just play and enjoy, and it's just there. But I don't need I've scratched that itch. I made an album this year I'm really happy with. And I plan on doing more music and stuff. But I'm really not, I don't need to be obsessed in that world of music anymore. I can just let that be a thing I go to when I feel like it, and it's and the comics, as I've been kind of exploring it and watching videos and just getting back into the mindset of comics in the last week or so, um, you know, I'm just like, this is what I like. I had a plan, I was doing it, and I still want to do it. Like, this is still what I want to do. So, like, I just really feel like it's time to get back, and I feel like I scratched the music itch enough. I feel like I've done a lot of healing. I mean, I think I'll be healing for the rest of my life. But I still feel like I've done a lot of healing, and I feel like I'm ready. Like, I'm finally ready to like get back to this comic stuff. So I'm gonna try to take my own advice, start small. I'm gonna get back to making YouTube videos. Some of them are gonna be live streams, some of them are gonna be, I don't know what yet. We'll find out. But and we're just gonna work it out. I have to kind of build up the momentum again, to get things going. But I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna have a cool little adventure here, and I'm still have career aspirations with all this, but most of all, I just want to be part of my family, my community here, with the YouTube, with the AAA creator community on Discord, with all you comic creators and imaginers and friends, and I have a lot of things I'd like to try and do. And when I think about what I was doing back when I was, kind of left, I still have those same ideas I still want to do. So I got a lot of ideas for the channel, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes proceeding forward. Exactly, but I don't feel like I have this nagging music itch that I just need to do. I'm not obsessed with that as much as I was like in the last couple years. It's just a fun thing that I really enjoy. But I'm back. I'm just back in that mindset of, okay, let's see what we can do with comics. Now, one thing that's interesting is, as I've been looking into this comic stuff again, and just like, where was I, where do I want to go type of stuff, I looked at, pretty much all the old comics that I made, not all of them, but most of them. And I looked at it and I'm like, man, one thing I really would love to do, like a big goal, dream goal of mine, would be to publish a comic with Alterna. I just really like what they do with their company, what Peter's doing, I love newsprint. I love it. It just is like the kind of comics I grew up on is sort of what they're doing. And I just would love to be involved in that. Um, that's just one goal. Another goal is to create, really build the YouTube channel as like a comic book art channel, which is what the plan was, for a long time. It was originally at. Um, but I was looking back at my old comics and I'm like, I can't, I won't lie. Like, I'm like, this stuff is, you know, it's not the greatest. I mean, I appreciate it for what it was, and what it is, and my skill level's still, somewhere around there. But I was a little discouraged, to be honest, and I'm like, man, like, I want to get better. And I think we all feel that, we all have like imposter syndrome, but I'm also super inspired by, just put stuff out, publish, like, keep making comics. You'll get better through the process. Like, if you don't feel like you can make a big comic, graphic novel or something, make a mini comic. Like, I still love mini comics. Like, work on anthologies, all that stuff. Like, and I still feel like with enough work, anybody can get to greatness with their art style or their writing, and all that stuff. Um, and I feel like no matter what level you're at, I feel like your work is valid as well, and I feel like that's the same with me. When I look at my stuff and I'm like, oh man, it's not that great. It's a little bit depressing, but it's also at the same time, it's like I also am really just evaluating where I'm at. I'm trying to realistically critique my stuff and not just be like, "Oh yeah, I can make comics. I'm amazing." I don't want to have like an unrealistic view of who I am and where I'm at with my creative output. So, you know, I mean, that's why I created things like the Level Up sketchbook, and stuff like that. And I feel like there will be more videos along those lines of the Level Up sketchbook type stuff, exercises, challenges, things like that. Again, I'm not promising anything. I don't know exactly where 100%. I'm like forming that plan now. But suffice it to say, there's going to be comic book videos in on a weekly basis at least. I'll at the very least I'll do live streams like this. Um, at the most I'll have 2 or 3 videos a week, maybe. I don't know. Like it'll be whatever, but I think I'm gonna at least have a video a week. Um, so I don't know. That's the plan. I want to just keep moving forward with that stuff, and those are some of my loose goals too. I'd love to do a comic with Alterna. I'd love to. I just want to build the channel. And there's other things that I'm thinking about, but I'm not making any promises. I'm just kind of sharing with you guys where I'm at, and where my head's at, where I may be going, and stuff like that. Sakura-san says, You're an amazing artist. I appreciate that." We're all at a certain stage, and I think they're all valid and they can all be cool. Uh, Rob Hodge, let's give Mike War a comeback. Oh my gosh. uh, yes, yes. Let's give. I mean, I'm not. I don't have much say in that, but. But I think my Mike War days are over. We used to do these like online like battles with there was a forum called mikewar.com. I don't know if it probably still doesn't exist, but it was created by this guy named Disciple X, or he went by Disciple X, and that was where I kind of had a lot of hip hop community and did some battles and stuff, and that was fun. That was fun times back then. All online stuff. But you finished uh Hiding in the Light. Yeah, that was the third Glyph uh comic, mini comic, and I guess the last so far. I don't think I've done another. I kept trying to do Glyph. Glyph is a situation. Like, okay, so this is the other thing, is I had all these comic book projects like in the works. I had Big Wrath with Peter Palmiotti. I had Calamity Jane. I had a romance comic that I was working on. I had a comic called Otis that I was looking into. I had so many different ideas and things I was going to work on. Glyph, of course. Um, and I still, you know, I was thinking like, well, what's the next comic? What am I going to work on next? And I'm like, oh man, I got to think of new ideas and this and that. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I did a lot of work on a lot of different things. Like, I need to like re-look at some of these things and see if I can still use some of that, because it doesn't make sense to have done all that work and not move forward with some of them. I'm not saying any of those things will come to fruition, But, like, even Calamity Jane, I was thinking, "Okay, I don't know if I wanna do it quite the way I was doing it originally," although I do like the beginning of that story. I had a hard time trying to finish that story for some reason, and I don't know why. Um, but I really like the beginning, and maybe the beginning could be like a cool, just little story, and I'll just do that, and that's it. But then I had a whole other idea that was like a different take on Calamity Jane, and I even changed it wouldn't be Calamity Jane, it would be uh I think I was calling it Granny Jane or something. And that's a whole other kind of idea. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about that when I was drawing some sketches the other day. Um, you know, there's something that I've been thinking a lot about that Peter Samedi says in some of his videos. He says, make the comic that you need to make, like, or basically, like, he doesn't want to bring anybody on his team unless they have something that, a comic story that they need to tell. And I'm like, well, what is that for me? And I'm still trying to figure that out. Um, so, I'm not 100% sure, but I know comics are in my future. I very possibly, like, there's something I'm kind of just about to start to work on now. Um, for like the 9 volt anthology, because that's still going. They just put out another 9 volt anthology from the AAA Discord the other day. And man, the cover is so dope, by Aaron Guzman, and from the mini comics bundle uh that I've told you guys about before. He did the cover, and it's so dope. And anyways, that was for the latest one, but there's another one. They keep rolling, and I think I might do one for the next one. I'm working on the idea now. I actually had Peter Seckler, and I might be, well, it's he kind of helped me kind of come up with an idea. So we'll see what happens. I'm not really promising anything with that. I'm gonna give it a shot. So but I'm still trying to figure out what my next moves are. But I know that they involve working on the comic channel and working on comics. And yeah. So let's see what else we got for comments. What is the highest price comic you sold to anyone? How did you price them? Oh man, I mean, not much. I think I was selling the mini comics for like $5 or something on my site, back in the day. I don't remember 100%. Um, and then there's like the 100 Days of Making Comics anthologies. Those, were like $20, I guess, but those are like graphic novels or trade paperback size. So that would be the highest, I guess. Uh, yeah, I appreciate that, Sakura song. Um, what songs have I made? Did I sell them? Yeah, there should be a link in the description to my Spotify, and you can check out. It's experimental, like sometimes hip hop beat type stuff, and I don't know. I've made a lot of rap music too back in the days. There might be a link in the description. I'm not sure, but my Bandcamp has some of that. Christian hip hop. That's what I kind of started off making originally. And then now just kind of stick to instrumentals more than anything. I may one day rap again. I don't know, but mostly I'm more interested in just music, instrumentals kind of things at this point. So, or just making weird sounds. I like making weird sounds with the synthesizers. So sound design and stuff. Let's see. Awax, what's up? Hey, Marsh, sorry to hear about the divorce. I found you an inspiration since I came across Donkey Jaw projects all those years ago. Thank you. I'm glad it's been inspiring, and Donkey Jaw Projects is .com is still alive, except for I haven't done much there. I've gone on there to try to make some edits and stuff, but I don't know what the direction of that is yet still, but it's still the label brand, I guess. It's I still like the title and everything, and the website's still there. So yeah, yeah, man, I'm glad you dig it. Let's see. Uh Whoops. Do. Just going through the comments here. Rob Hodge, have you hopped on the mic again recently? No, there was a something I wrote recently. Um I clicked something weird here. Now I don't see the chat anymore. Exit full screen. Yes, I want to exit full screen. Okay. That was weird. Let's see. Now I have to find the thing I was just commenting on. But no, I wrote a rhyme recently because for something specific, but I don't even know if I'll record that because it was we'll see what happens. But I haven't been in the mode of recording rap stuff for a very long time. I still love, like, the art of lyricism is one of my favorite things in the world. Like, it's probably the best skill that I have. Well, I don't know if that's the case anymore. It's hard to say because I've spent a lot of time working on my comic book art craft. So maybe that's, I don't know, but yeah, now that I think about it, especially after what I said earlier, like, I kind of feel like still lyricism is my best skill, or making music. I don't know. Who knows? I can't judge my own self. Let's see. Robert Johnston, how you doing, man? Good to see you, man. You've been killing it with the comics. So have so many other people I see in the chats and stuff too. But Rob, man, I see your posts on Instagram, on Facebook, man. You are rocking it, man. You're always like working hard on it, on stuff, and yeah, I don't know, I'm inspired by what you're doing, man. Let's see. I'm still keen to see you develop the big wrath concept with Peter. Hint, hint. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where things go. That was an ambitious project for sure. For me, it was probably the most ambitious project I was embarking on, and I don't know if I was quite ready yet. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I wonder if it would have been done by now if I had kept going. Probably not, because I'm slow. Um, Everyone hit the like button. Hey, hey, thanks. I'll pay. I'll send you a check in the mail for that. But yeah, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That's always a thing that's good to do to help support. There's also a Patreon if you want to support. I'll be. I'm thinking about, how am I gonna just bolster up the Patreon again, because I keep trying that and not doing so great. So a warning with that, but I would like to. I would like to actually focus on it, and get some good value in there so that I have another place to connect with everybody, so I'm probably gonna have to rehash things in there. So whatever you see there, if you want to go help out, I'll probably keep like the levels the same, but I just want to make sure I have the rewards and stuff right. And I don't know, I gotta take a good look into there again. um Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to hear you're doing well. Thanks, man. Yeah, totally. Um, Robert, what if you made some music that people can purchase or credit you that you can use for their videos? Yeah, man. I mean, I've been thinking about that kind of thing too. One thing that is interesting is people do, YouTube or Kickstarters and Indiegogos, and they need um, music for their previews and stuff. And I totally make stuff that would be good for that sometimes. So it's definitely crossed my mind as something to do. So, you and I mean, you're already like I already know, Rob. You got an eye for that kind of stuff, and yeah, I think we're thinking similarly. uh, Comics are the best. Yes, I love comics. I got a lot of them stacked up here. Ones that most people don't love, actually. I was going into the 90s and stuff trying to you know, reconnect with some of my inspirations. One of the things I've always wanted to do, even from when I first really got into comics, was I loved like X-Force and like, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, all the Image guys. I loved all that stuff. And I always wanted to make comics that looked as exciting and the art was as cool as that, but the stories were also good. Because that was definitely very lacking in most of those comics. um, you know, to be honest, I can't draw as good as any of those guys, even though like people talk about Rob Liefeld, especially and Tom McFarlane sometimes. Um, you know, I I don't know that I'm even as good as them really. So, um, but I like their art anyways. So I mean, to say I don't know, it's I can't like I said I can't judge myself, but and I don't even know if I can write stories, much better than them. Maybe I can. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep developing, keep working towards whatever it is that I do develop. I don't know. I have ideas for what I want to do, and I want to be able to create emotional uh resonating moments, in comics too. That's something I have still only just barely seen in comics. For the comics I've read, I'm sure there are comics out there, but I just haven't come across the ones that really resonate emotionally yet. But I see that in all kinds of other mediums, other stories. But for some reason in comics, I've had a hard time connecting in that way, and I want to. And I want to bring that forth in my own comics too, because I enjoy being emotionally moved with the stories that I take in. Um, so yeah, Shadow Locust make a comeback. Shadow the Locust is still jumping around, man. They're um, we I mean, I'm still technically in the crew, but they put out an album a few years ago, finally the first full Shadow of the Locust album, and there should be three. It's going to be a series of three. So, and there's been a lot of progress made with that. I'm definitely going to be on all three of them. So yeah. Shadow Locust is still doing its thing, and the members are still doing their thing. Illustrate, he's now part of the Shadow Locust, and he put out an album recently. He's a beast. He's always putting out albums. So yeah, man. Have I ever made a crime comic? Well, let's see. It's funny because I grew up with the superhero genre, and kind of thought that's what I would always make and stuff, but until Expando I never really actually made a technical superhero story, which is really weird. I feel like my stories tend to be somewhere in the horror realm or um adventure. Glyph is kind of like Glyph is almost like a superhero comic though, in a weird way. Um, so yeah, um, crime specifically, I mean, um, no, probably not. It's not a genre that I'm really interested in, to be honest, as far as making. I mean, I've taken in a lot of crime stories. There's, TV shows I've watched and movies and stuff that I've enjoyed. But again, if I were to do a crime story, it would have to be like a crime story in a universe with monsters and aliens and weird creatures because I don't love drawing humans usually. Maybe I'm racist against humans. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. I like drawing aliens. I like drawing monsters and things that go bump in the night and the day. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I mean, I like drawing Glyph. He's a human, I think. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's not. um, let's see. What else is there? Mini comics are a great, especially if you want to create a short story. Absolutely. You know what's also cool is anthologies. I mean, I did a video actually, I don't know, relatively recently where it was kind of like a redoing of my mini comics video, but it was showing 5 different ideas. I think there was total of actually 6 different ideas of how to get started with comics. And, one of them was anthologies, which is another great way to get going. Mini comics was in there, strip comics, I think, was in there, Instagram comics, web comics, something like that. I don't know. You'd have to watch the video. It's one of my relatively recent videos. Um, and there's a lot of ways to just get going, and start. Uh, you're too humble, brother. You have oodles of talent. We're our own worst critics. Yeah, you know, I like trying to be humble, but at the same time, like I want to be realistic about where I'm at and not like and like I feel like if you have awareness you can move forward. If you don't, if you're in ignorance, like I don't want to be like, you know, um I don't want to be like the American Idol guy or gal who like sounds like they're screeching and it's like nails on a chalkboard and everybody can tell but them and they think they're like amazing. And it's hard to believe that people are like that, but at the same time, like I think we all can be blinded one way or the other. We can either be like too hard on ourselves or too like lenient on ourselves. So I just want to have a realistic view of where I'm at and then move forward from there. Nathan Rosario, what's up? How you doing, man? Now here's a really good artist right here. You guys gotta check him out. I think it's Rosario.com probably, but see if you can find him in his website. He's got some really cool art, for sure. And good to see you in the chat, man. Totally. Let's see. And we're all at different levels again. Like I'm very much happy to be like at the level I'm at, but I'm also not happy with it. I want to grow. I want to get better. That's all it really is. Um CB Smallwood, yo, I made it to the stream. Yes, you did, sir. um Check out CB's videos. I was watching some of your videos the other day, man. CB's always got interesting insights and thoughts on the comic process and style and all kinds of different things. And you're working on Wildcat, right? You got that anthology still going, man. I keep seeing images for it. I'm looking forward to checking it out when it's out, man. Let's see. Ma I wanna say Ma Michaela, that's gotta be, right? Michaela, is that it? Michaela Thiston? I hope I'm not screwing that up, but, I've never seen Michaela spelled before, and that looks like that could be how it's spelled. I know the name, don't know the spelling. Good luck, take your time, no pressure, but can't wait to see whatever you make. Aw, thanks. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Rob Hodge really enjoyed Glyph. It's nice to see that people even know of some of my characters because you put this stuff out sometimes and you don't really get a lot of feedback, which is it's par for the course. So if you guys like feel like I mean, I know a lot of you guys probably published comics before or anything, and probably felt like, you heard crickets after. Trust me, you're not the only one. We all go through that. I mean, I feel like everything I've ever released, I don't think there's anything where I've gotten a lot of immediate feedback. It's usually crickets. Um, maybe my YouTube videos. That's the only thing that I do get comments on and stuff. So that's really nice. But yeah, I mean that's how it goes. You really gotta um you gotta what's the word? You gotta like earn, there's a word. You gotta pay your dues. You gotta pay your dues, man. You gotta do the work and eventually, you know, just keep putting your stuff out there and putting yourself in a position to be ready for the opportunities. That's really all you can do. I feel like. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's like some of the best thing you can do. Let's see. What about A Crisis on the Infinite Indies Earths book? That'd be a great anthology. That would be cool. So something like that. Crisis on yeah. I think we need a title that like rolls off the tongue a little better, but like I like where your head's at with that. That's a interesting idea. CB Smallwood. Let's see. I'd like to see you revive some public domain characters and stories. That way you're not starting from scratch. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think I'll be starting from scratch. Well, I may not be starting from scratch. I still have all, the old stuff, like, or the stuff I was working on, 2 years ago. I can continue with. Um, but yeah, public domain stuff. I'm always often I like to look at that stuff. I love comic book, what is it? Comicbookplus.com. That's such a cool site. And I often look to that for inspiration. Actually, my album cover that I did, the album I did recently, that is, I mean, I did a lot of manipulation in my own artistic take and everything, but it's from an indie, a comic, from indie comicbookplus.com. A great site if you guys want to look up old comics that are in the public domain. Really cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm always interested in that. But nothing has super sparked. Actually, funny enough, um, you know, um, Expando that I had in the 9 Volt anthology, he is my take on, any of many stretchable superheroes. Like Elastic Man or Plastic Man, I know is one of them. And then there's obviously was it Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four? Is that his name? Or I should know, like I'm such a Kirby fan. I should probably know like what the characters of Fantastic Four are, but you know, I'm a jerk and my comic knowledge is more limited than you'd expect. I think I have some Fantastic Fours next to me. That's why I'm like leafing through. Um, but yeah, uh, and there's been other, stretchable superheroes. So Expando's kind of like my take on like Plastic Man or something. Have I ever made zines? Asks uh the Prestis. um have I ever made zines? I mean, I've made mini comics. And I've kind of dabbled with zines. I've had a friend, been one friend who's wanted to make zines with me at times, and I kind of started, but I never have technically. No, I kind of wanted to, but never have made zines other than like mini comics. If you count those as zines, then yeah, you know. Let's see. How long did it take to make your longest comic book ever, and how many pages was it? Corncob Rob was my longest comic book ever. That's like a typical issue size. I can't remember exactly how many pages. It was probably 20 to 23 pages, somewhere around there. And I made it in like a month, but I mean, it's not the greatest artwork in the world. For sure. But I had fun making it. And technically I think I made it in like a month and a half, and I might have came up with the idea a little earlier than that, but that was back when I was doing my Patreon another time, and I was trying to make a mini comic a month, or some kind of comic a month to give to my patrons, which is insane. That's an insane goal. Like, that was not a realistic goal, and that's why I only got through like 3 months of it. Um, Tara and the Pte Pterodactopus. I think that was one of the comics that was made for those patrons as well. Um, and I think I don't remember what else. I published some other stuff, I think, during that time. Um, but yeah, that was the biggest comic I ever made. But I'd like to do that again, but spend more time on it. And really, I mean, that's kind of what Big Wrath was meant to be. I was finally gonna like make a full like real comic. Um, but then life happened. uh Prestes likes to make zines. Cool. Sakura-san, I love instrumental music. Awesome. Yeah, check out the stuff. Like I said, experimental though, so you may or may not like it. There's some noisy stuff and weird stuff and glitchy stuff. CB Smallwood, make a beat for Wildcat. Do you not have you probably don't have a thing for it yet, but you can always make different promos. Yeah, man. I'll put that. I like that you said that. I'll keep that in my mind and see if I can do something. I feel like Wildcat would be like a heavy metal theme. Maybe, but I don't really make heavy metal exactly, but I do make noisy stuff. So maybe I could do something with that. I don't know. I'll see what I could do, man, because that would be fun. That would actually be pretty fun. Do. Have I ever made a fan fiction comic? Sakura-san asks. Um, fan fiction comic. No, no. I almost made one of Spawn though. I wanted to. I was thinking about making like a like a cartoony, goofy version of Spawn, like the Looney Tunes version of Spawn. Which I think there is like, isn't there like a comic called like, I don't know, Spawn? I think there's a cartoony version of Spawn already, maybe. But yeah, I drew a picture of Spawn like in a cartoony way, I think a couple times, and I just thought it would be fun, but I didn't. do that. But I've had some ideas. I was gonna do. I have these blank super mix, like the whole. It's like 22 pages of blank pages. It's like a blank comic cover comic, but all the interiors are blank as well. Um, I have that, like I said, for they made one for Batman, they made one for Superman, and for Wonder Woman, but I didn't get the Wonder Woman one yet. And I had some ideas to like do some fan fiction type stuff of that. Problem is I'm not even that much of a fan of Batman. So I like feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know. That was gonna be a thing I did on the channel and stuff, but maybe I'll revise that. I don't know. But that's a lot of work too. So who knows? We'll see. How do you sell your comic in a store? I don't know. I mean, you can go to stores and sometimes you just ask the owner there, and sometimes they're willing to put like indie books and on consignment. They might have like an indie section. I've done that once. But you know, or I've seen friends of mine also bring, their comics to all kinds of comic shops. Sometimes comic shops will just put it in with their other comics if it looks like, the same as the type of comics that are in the shelves already. If it's nice and like professional and all that. Um, you just got to go to comic shops and ask. I remember Gazbot was trying to put his comic in comic stores, and he got them in a lot of comic stores. And he literally just, as he traveled around doing comic shows, he would find the comic stores anywhere nearby, and he'd bring like 5 copies and see if they would sell his comic, and you can also do that just by calling the comic shops. Now, this is a lot of work. You're going to probably deal with some rejection. A lot of comic stores aren't interested in selling indie comics, but to be honest, there's not a lot of comic shops left. A lot of them went under, unfortunately. Um, but you know, that's how you can do it. There's also you can create deals for newsstand, getting your comic in newsstands like magazine racks and stuff at stores, but it's really difficult. Peter Samedi was working had that those kind of deals going, and he ended up abandoning it because it wasn't worth it. So it's not easy, but it's doable, and it's don't expect it to be a big money maker. It's more just like for the joy of having your comic in places and being able to tell people, oh, you can get my comic at this store or that store. Like that's kind of cool too. It's just to get more reach out, but it's don't think of it as like I'm going to make money from this, because it's not going to be any really worthwhile money, most likely, unless maybe, you know, anything's possible. Whenever you say somebody can't do something, they can totally like figure out some way that nobody else has ever thought of and do it. But use your creativity, and see what you can do. But it's literally knocking and asking, type of thing. You have not because you ask not, basically. uh, let's see. Uh, let's see. You should make the comics you love. I mean, yeah, but I don't know exactly what that is. I'm trying to figure that out. What is the comics you guys love? Like, how do you know when it's like this is something worth taking the time to make a comic about? I don't know. It's something I'm contemplating, you know. Uh yeah. Have you ever made or published a full comic that's more than 20 pages? Again, Corncob Rob, that's probably the only one. Um so yeah. But it was just published digitally. It was never printed. Let's see. Cartoon drawings. You learned a lot from me about mini comics. Hey, cool. I'm so glad you did. I'm glad. Thank you for watching. Um, yeah. So again, it's been a journey for sure. Doing all this stuff, and like I said, I think I'm back in the game with this. I'm going to be working on comics. Going to be working on comic videos. And again, I'm not promising anything. I don't know what's gonna become of everything, but I know that things are gonna happen. I'm gonna, like I said, the only thing I can really promise is that I'm gonna be doing my best to get a video out every week. Um, and I'm gonna be working on something comic related, uh, just kind of like I was before, but there's gonna be, some extra content, and I don't know. I'm just gonna keep working at it and figuring it out. So you know, we'll see. We shall see. My first comic was Glyph and the Terror of Tusk mini comic. I've talked about it a lot, and I'll keep talking about it. So yeah, it's you can actually read it up on Webtoons. I think there's a link in my link tree in the description for my Webtoons. I plan on putting all of my comics that I've ever made up on Webtoons for free. So, soon enough, you guys will be able to check all that stuff out. So, but Glyph is up there. It's also up on donkeyjawprojects.com, and there's a couple other comics up there too on donkeyjawprojects.com. So, there's also links to ones you could buy, but you actually can't buy them because all the links are broken and stuff. And I haven't messed with that. I need to do a major overhaul of my website. So, but yeah, look forward to Webtoons. That might be one of the next things I do. Is that probably be one of the next things I do is put all my comics up on Webtoons that I've made so far. And then yeah, that'll be cool that everybody could check it out. Let's see. Perry's hotter. Hey, how you doing? What's up, man? Corey Kerr back in the building. A healthy view of your work includes room to grow. Yeah, I think so, for sure. And if you guys missed it last week, Corey Kerr and I did a video talking about the algorithm, rebelling against the algorithm, and kind of trying to find a healthy balance of how to work within the world of social media and content creation as opposed to just making your art, and is it possible to balance the two, and stuff. And I don't know if we came to a definite answer, but I think we had some interesting thoughts that might be helpful. Definitely a video worth checking out, in my opinion. Justin Prine, never stop. Never stop. Well, I stopped for a couple of years, but I agree. Always keep trying whatever it is you want to try. Don't ever, feel like you can't. You like, don't let anything stop you. But if you need to stop for health reasons or something, do what you got to do. Marshall, what area do you feel you need to improve on? Let's see. Anatomy, coloring, line, line quality, pro, pro, proportion's a big one. You know, eyes, noses, faces, hands, buildings, perspective, writing. Just pick an area. All of them. Oh boy. Good to see you back, Marsh. What's up, Creed? Thank you. The retro maniac. I like that. You and Peter Palmiotti need to battle it out. Creed Stonegate, the retro maniac, versus Peter Retro Palmiotti. Do I have my own website? Yes, donkeyjawprojects.com. Link is in the description, in the link tree somewhere. Somewhere there is a link. Uh, Brother, I have a lot of story ideas to write comics about Sonic versus My Little Pony Rainbow Dash, where we need to ask for the permission from Hasbro and Sonic Creator. Yes. Oh well, no, and yes. Um, if you want to sell it, and I know I kind of was chuckling there because it's just sounds like a funny idea, like a fun idea. I'd be curious to see like how that turns out and do it, man. You can do like fan fiction, and it's possible that you could get in trouble. I don't know. I don't really know the world of fan fiction that well. But you know, or you could get permission, which is, I mean, that would probably be expensive. You'd probably have to pay a large sum, and they might not even be willing to sell it, or not sell it, but lease it, I should say. And then last but not least, so there's three ways you can do this. Fan fiction, you can lease it, and again, that might be almost impossible to do. Or three, you can create your fan fiction on the thing, but change all the details and make it your own. Steal like an artist, as they say. Take kind of the undergirding structure and some of the elements, but make it totally your own. Like create your own characters, create your own dynamics or whatever. But just in your mind, it's like it's Sonic versus the My Little Pony things, and you know, but make your own thing. And a lot of creators do that. I mean, even Star Wars, I think to a certain extent is largely based off of, some old samurai movies, I think, and stuff like that. And, other creations have a lot of people have done that, but you gotta make it your own. Don't borrow it, steal it, as my friend Lucifer Storm would say. um you know you have to 100% make it your own. You can't you got to be careful not to step on copyright, infringement, so, but it is possible to do it in a few different ways. uh AWAC says I got to get going. Great to catch up. Another insightful and thoughtful discussion. Peace out. Yeah, man, peace. I'm gonna get going here soon in a minute. I'm just trying to catch up with the comments. I'm about there. um Case K, what is the biggest struggle you have when making your comics? How do you overcome that hurdle? The struggle is, let's see, my biggest struggle in making comics is looking up at the overwhelming mountain of uh, of what it takes to make a comic. Even if you're drawing a simple mini comic with stick figures, it's still a lot. It's overwhelming. And my way to to fight that is do a little bit every day. 100 days of making comics taught me the most one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned, At least a half an hour a day, just work on it little by little, bite by bite, But it's still hard. I don't know if I'm going to do 100 days of making comics again necessarily, but I'm going to be taking that same lesson and working it into my life for, you know, the future plans, cuz it's uh it's the way to do it, I feel like, It's the way that helps me at least. Creating habits, instead of trying to do it all at once, or binge things, just create a habit. And if you can keep the habit up, you know, you can make some pretty cool stuff. Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic. See, I was sort of there. Yes. Uh let's see. What comic of yours do you recommend the most? Um I don't know. It's hard to say. But like I said, they'll all be free on Webtoons. The first shows, that was a great example of like I had never made a comic and always wanted to make a comic for many, many, many years, and that was the first thing I made. I got two characters in one setting and had them fight, and that was like the fact that I made a comic of that happening was like I was like, "This is what I wanna do with the rest of my life," type of thing, like, that was just fun, and it had a beginning, middle, and end, it wasn't super sophisticated, but, you know, that first comic is a good starting point for checking out what my stuff is, even though it's, the first thing I've ever done, it's not necessarily the best. I mean, um, the second 100 Days of Making comic anthology, Werewolves and Unicorns. Um, what did I title? Oh, Punch Out. That was a cool comic, where a unicorn and a werewolf fought in an arena. That was fun. Again, on a similar vibe. I like Expando. Expando's pretty fun, but it kind of leaves you wanting more because it's like a to be continued thing. You know, uh yeah, I don't know. Those are good ones. Looney Tunes Spawn needs to happen. uh yeah, I thought that was it. Spawn kills everyone. Um yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of comments. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I do have to get going. I'm getting tired. Um oh, we got one more comment here. I'm at the bottom. Sorry if I didn't get to your comments. Oh, I see you, Mutt Man. What's up, man? Glad to see you here, Arthur Sotomayor. Everybody, thank you for watching. We're gonna get these videos rocking and rolling here. Rob says, "Hey, Marsh, have you ever thought about collecting all the comics you've done into a trade paperback for sale?" That was one of my plans at one point, and I may still do that. For now, I'm going to put it out on Webtoons, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'll put it out there for free. So yeah. Um, and with that, I really appreciate once again you guys coming and hanging out. I am going to end it. I'm getting tired. I need to go to bed and get to work in the morning. But thanks again, and there'll be another video next week. There's going to be a lot more coming with the comics and the channel. And I thank you for having the patience with me and still hanging out and being friendly when I come back every time. You guys rock. You know where to find me, donkeyjawprojects.com and all kinds of other places. There's a link in the description, and you should be able to find my stuff there. So thank you again, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace out.